The year following the first year I got to take Cam and Truett Hanes to South Texas was one of my more memorable hunts of all time. Years of preparation led to being able to target this particular buck that Cam would be hunting. A once-in-a-million lifetimes buck named Chicken. This buck lived in native, untouched brush, truly wild country on the historic GK Paloma ranch. He wasn't just a contender for the new ranch record. He was also piebald, a genetic trait that's so rare most hunters will never see one in a lifetime of hunting. Cam was treated to an encounter with Chicken the year before, but the ranch owner had decided that even at 6.5, they wanted to give him one more year to spread his remarkable genetics. Now, at 7.5, Cam would be the incredibly fortunate bow hunter that had the green light to pursue him. The ranch manager worked very hard to keep all the pressure away from where this deer chose to live, yet the buck disappeared for several weeks before we got there to hunt. Fortunately, days before the hunt, Chicken started showing up on camera again. He was bigger, heavier, and more incredible than ever. A 190-inch piebald monster in relatively untouched country. This wasn't just any buck. This was a true unicorn.
South Texas whitetail. Last year I came with Brian Stevens and we came to the GK Paloma and I was able to kill a couple gray bucks. Also last year I saw a buck that is nicknamed Chicken. It was the biggest whitetail I'd ever seen at that time. However, he was 6 years old, which I guess to people who aren't in the mature buck world, you'd think that's bad. I mean, that is an old buck. For any deer to live 6 years is pretty rare. But here, wanting that extra year of passing on genetics, of maturing to his full potential, the goal was to let Chicken get to 7 years old. You know, Chicken disappeared for 10 days just last week. Hadn't been around, still alive, but as far as we knew, but when he disappeared, there's no guarantee he was coming back. And when we come in to hunt, and sure enough, Chicken is back. We put in these reps all year, and when an animal like Chicken walks out, a truly once-in-a-lifetime animal, where, you know, I could miss him. Worst case, I could wound him without a perfect shot. I don't think about all the reps. I don't have to think about, okay, I need to anchor up, I need to string across the nose, level up, pick a spot, get my pin. I don't think about anything. I'm on autopilot because of the thousands and thousands and thousands of reps I've went through leading up to this moment. I want to make shooting a bow natural, an extension of my body, and then when an animal like Chicken walks out, I can capitalize.
The very next day, Cam would be positioned in his red zone. Like any bow hunt, the variables are infinite and any one thing could derail this ancient buck's pattern. As morning came, the weather could not have been more perfect. Cool and overcast. Every bit of deer hunting sense I had gained in my lifetime gave me the feeling that it was going to happen. I was sitting in a blind a couple miles away and hoping to see a buck I was hunting, but I could barely focus on my hunt. We saw deer that morning, but Cam was being treated to the pinnacle of every whitetail hunter's dream. The suspense was intense but brief. At 7:16, less than 30 minutes into legal shooting light, I got a text from the ranch manager. Cams followed shortly after, and I abandoned my morning hunt to go celebrate this incredible buck.
This is a historic morning. I released a perfect arrow, and he went 36 yards and went down, and walking up to him was intense. I'll never forget that animal, and I'll honor him till my last day. As we say, the beast is dead, long live the beast. We're gonna honor this animal and the memory of this hunt for years.
We processed this buck and carefully salvaged every scrap of meat. The Hanes boys were living right as fate smiled upon Truett the next morning. A typical frame 6x6 that was another South Texas hammer. We spent the next day with Cam, Truett, and Alicia, and my great friend Matt Perez looking for arrowheads on the many sacred encampments on this ranch. I spent the rest of the week bouncing around to different blinds, as it seems there were few bucks patterning with the rut approaching. One evening, a bruiser showed up, but as older bucks do, he sensed something wasn't right and left just before he got in range. After several days, an ancient buck showed up that I was extremely excited to try for. I was self-filming the next morning when I went to get in the blind, but the buck came in so quickly and it was so quiet, I didn't want to risk setting up the camera and making any noise, so I focused on hunting. And here was the result. This buck only had 2 teeth left, likely the oldest buck I've ever taken, and therefore one of the most special.
That's a cool buck. Yes!
How could I ask for more? 3 tremendous bucks in 1 week, but more importantly, core memories made with old and new friends.
This country is interwoven in what makes us bow hunters, and there's not a hunt I look forward to more as it turns out each year, last 2 years, and I'm already thinking about next year, than hunting South Texas whitetail on the GK.
This camp, the people, the laughter, this historic ranch, and the Native American artifacts all combine to remind me that, as always, there's more to the hunt.